Welcome back to Northeast Current. I am John Baldino. It is not terribly often in regional theater that a show is so successful, so acclaimed, so loved by audiences and actors alike that it is brought back within a year of its original production. Well, that is happening at Showcase Theater. Picasso at the Lapin Agile, to be specific, and we are joined by director Greg Korin. Greg, good morning.
How you doing, John?
I am great. How are you?
I'm adequate.
Fabulous. Tell us a little bit about Picasso. Now, this was a huge hit not long ago at all.
We did it in March of 2001 at Showcase Theater. It was an enormous success. So they needed something to put in that venue in April, and the subject came up, would you like to do it again in April of 2001? And everyone said, yeah, sure. I mean, it's, usually you put in a 4 or 5 week rehearsal period on a show.
Right.
You do the 2 or 3 weekends and it's all over. You're like, whoa, and then on to the next one.
Right.
These guys didn't want that show to end. The cast loved it. The audience loved it. And when we revived it in April of 2001, I would say that 50% of it was return business, and they had brought friends with them. So that was, I mean, you never see that happen in regional theater. It was just, I was amazed. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I've never seen that happen anyplace. So they were looking for something light to put in this particular time slot this year. And after we did Picasso twice last year, everyone's talking, oh, geez, when can we do it again? When can we do it again? Well, I'd like to do it again. When can we do it? When can we do it? Why not do it this spot in September? Because of, the things that have happened over the past year. They're thinking, oh, people need something light. They need to laugh a little bit. Everyone wants to do the show again, so let's bring it back. So again, we got everyone's, we asked around, well, you want to do it again? September, put those weekends aside, we'll do it again. And everyone said, sure. So we're back, but the best laid plans, I had to replace 2 cast members.
Well, that's not bad.
No,
because it's a cast of
a cast
11?
of about 9.
Okay. And only replacing 2, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, I had to replace 2. Actually, we lost, to be specific, we lost 4 cast members. But the 2 cast members, 2 of the other cast members are being replaced by 1 person.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So let me explain that. The way Steve Martin wrote the play, there are a series of women who come in. There's a woman who comes in for Picasso, there's a woman who comes in for Einstein, and then there's a woman who comes in for Schmendeman. Well, the way Steve Martin wrote that originally, all 3 characters were supposed to be played by the same actress.
I see.
He's making a statement that these great men all go for the same kind of woman, and in order to say that, all 3 of these women had to be played by the same actress, which I planned to do. Well, then we had an actress come into the first audition, and she did some great things. She played the Countess. She came in and she did the whole Miss Cleo thing, and she's doing that at audition, and I'm going, like, there is no way that I cannot put this woman in the show. She has to be in the show doing this. So I found another actress to play the 3rd role, which basically is just walk on one line, walk off. And so what you saw on stage the first go-around was Plan B.
Oh, I see.
Now we're back to Plan A with the same actress playing all 3 roles. This is a story of a fictional meeting in 1904 between Pablo Picasso and Albert Einstein in a dumpy little bar in Paris called the Lapin Agile, which is French for dancing rabbit. And it's real interesting. What Steve Martin has done with all the millions of dollars he's made over the last 20 years or so, he's invested it in fine art. He's gone around to all these art shows and museums, and he's got one of the premier fine art collections in the world now. And he's become an authority on art. And when we started to do the research on this, what we found out was, yes, Picasso and Einstein were both in Paris in 1904. Picasso actually really hung out at a little cabaret called the Lapin Agile. In fact, there's a famous Picasso painting that I found called At the Lapin Agile. And here's Freddie the bartender, who's in the play playing the guitar. Here's Germaine the waitress, who is in the play, a character in the play. You know, all of these people who are in the painting, who actually worked at the Lapin Agile, are in the play as characters. And I didn't know that.
So this is not as far-fetched an idea as one might think. It very well could have happened. Einstein could have wandered into that bar.
Yeah, because they were there at the same time. They were both in Paris in 1904. All of the people, the denizens of the bar, Martin researched this. They were all real characters. Now there are some pretty fantastic things that happen throughout the course of the play, which I won't give away. But a lot of it, you could tell that he put a lot of thought and research into it. And it's pretty much a flight of fancy, but not that far-fetched.
So tell us about the cast. These fabulous people have stuck with you and the new folks.
Yes. Well, first of all, playing Albert Einstein, Jason Sherry is back.
And after seeing him, I could not see anyone else in the role. He was Albert Einstein. He was amazing.
And he's back. He's going to do it all again. And his wife, Ellen O'Brien Sherry, is back as Germaine, the waitress. We have Warren Rosengrant, who is back as Gaston, the dirty old man. Paul Winarski is back as Sago, the art dealer. And his wife, Dawn, is back as Suzanne, the girl. Now, see, this is what I was talking about earlier. Dawn has taken it upon herself to play all these three characters. Dawn Winarski is Suzanne. She is the Countess, who comes in for Einstein. And then she is the Bobby Soxer, who comes in for Schmendeman. And so she's, and I got to hand it to her. I mean, when we told her, Dawn, you're going to have to play all three of these roles, it was like, you know, the deer in the headlights. But she's doing it. She's
very versatile.
She is, and she's doing a fabulous job. Let me see, who else is back? Of course, David Strumsky. Strummer is back as the strange visitor from the future. Who did I leave out? I think those are the regular cast members that are back. Oh, Richard Dries as Schmendeman. He's back with his leopard skin fez and the sunglasses and everything. I'm going to leave somebody out. They're going to kill me. Now, the two cast members I had to replace, Jack Evans played Picasso originally. He's the one who got the paying gig and couldn't do the show. Michael Pagliaconis, who audiences may be familiar with. He's done some stuff at the AFA Gallery.
He's a frequent guest here, in fact.
Oh, well, there.
So my audiences should know him.
You all know who Michael Pagliaconis is. He has taken on the mantle of Pablo Picasso and doing a fabulous job.
Yeah.
I mean, he stepped right into it. The first week of rehearsal, he's coming to rehearsal with all of these big books on Picasso. And, you know, look at this, look at this. And then he did this, and he did this. And so he just went crazy and jumped into it with both feet.
Do you find it a different interpretation? Or is it
somewhat
similar?
There are things, well, see, and when we started, you know, people are going, well, Jack Evans did it this way, Jack Evans did it that way, but I'm like, ooh, this is not Jack Evans, this is Michael Pagliaconis. So there are some things that Mike is matching Jack for, word for word.
And when you're playing someone who actually existed, there are some things that are going to have to be the same.
Exactly. But then he also put a little bit of his own spin on some things. And, you know, it really freshens it up.
Yeah.
It really freshens it up. And then Steve Lewis was originally Freddie the bartender. That role is now being portrayed by Billy Joe Herbert. Billy Joe when you see Billy Joe in a bar, you would be expecting him to be playing Norm instead of the bartender. But he's doing a great job. There's a whole new, you know, here you've got somebody who's a naturally funny guy playing straight man to all of these people.
And Billy Joe is walking comedy.
Yeah, and but he pulls it off, and he has his moments. That character has his moments, and Billy Joe just grabs him and squeezes him and won't let go. So he's good. He's good. In fact, Billy Joe and Michael have both done everything they can to make these roles their own, and they've succeeded. They've succeeded. Now, Stephen Lewis, I should say, is still with the production.
Oh, okay.
He's now the tech director at Showcase Theater.
Great.
So what Steve has done, even though he can't be in the show, Steve is lighting the show. Steve is rebuilding the set. In fact, again, this is somebody else. Billy Lichny built the set before. Steve is rebuilding the set, and again, this is like another actor taking over a role.
Right.
The bar is still there, the door is still there, the walls are still there, but they've got Steve's individual
So there's
touches.
still some Steve
Yes.
in the show.
There is still some Steve Lewis in the show, and it looks good. It looks good. We're all working a lot harder on this than we expected to. We figured that we'd come in, you know, the whole cast is back together. I mean, I took a week at the beach in August, at the end of August, thinking, oh, well, you know, we'll get together, everyone will come back in, we'll do a couple of weeks in August, I'll go to the shore, we'll come back after Labor Day, throw the show back on, and, you know, with a very minimum amount of work. Get the maximum satisfaction for the minimum action. But then now we had to go into a full rehearsal period. 6 solid weeks. They even rehearsed while I was gone. I mean, I paid for the condo at the beach. I had to go. But they even rehearsed while I was gone.
I'm sure it was killing you, too.
Oh, God, I'm laying there on the beach. Oh, jeez, I wonder what they're doing now. Hand me that drink, would you dare? They even rehearsed while I was gone. So we went into a full 6-week rehearsal period just to get Michael and Billy acclimated into the cast. So everybody has worked a lot harder at this than they signed on for, and I've got to hand it to them because they've all been, you know, real supportive, and they've all been real troopers and very, very professional about the whole thing. So.
And when is it all happening?
It happens, we open on September 13th. And
They open on my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you. I won't be there for opening night.
Well, no, neither will I.
Okay.
No, I'll be there opening night. I'm just kidding. We open on September 13th, Friday night. We'll do Friday night and Saturday night, the 13th and 14th. Curtain time, 8 o'clock. And then the following weekend, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, Friday and Saturday again, 8 o'clock. Then the Sunday is a 2 o'clock matinee.
So you've got 2 good weekends in.
Yep, 2 solid weekends. 2 solid weekends. So it should be, you know, it's, and already we're getting a good reaction from people who saw it before, want to see it again, bring their friends again, return business, people who didn't see it the first time, who want to come and see it. There's a lot of goodwill around concerning the show, and people want to, even though there are 5 other shows opening the same weekend.
You will never lack for theater in Northeastern Pennsylvania.
No, everybody, theater enthusiasts have a full plate, which is great. It's fabulous. The cultural scene is booming here.
What do you attribute that amazing response? Because it's something that you don't see a lot in community theater.
I can't really put my finger on it. Part of it is the script.
It's a brilliantly written show.
Yeah, I got my hands on the script about 7 years ago, completely by accident. And I didn't, you know, I got it and went, what the heck is this? And I start reading it, and I was hooked right from the first page. And I read it all the way through in one sitting, which I never, ever do with a script. And I was hooked. I'm like, I have to direct this show. And at the time, I wasn't a director, but there wasn't, I didn't have a passion for acting in it. I'm like, I have to direct this show. So part of it's the script. And then I was lucky enough to get the most fabulous group of actors together to interpret that script and put it on stage.
That's fabulous. So take a look for it at Showcase Theater. For more information, 654-2555. We're just about out of time. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you, John.
My thanks to Boys and Girls Club. Until next time, I'm John Baldino, PAC 64, WQPX.